Good evening, everyone. Welcome to On Deck here on FTSN. I'm honored here tonight that we have co-host of Touchdown in Paradise, Peter Gallagher. Pete, big time Dodgers fan, Southern California guy. Thank you for joining us tonight, Pete.
I appreciate it. First time joining, long time listener, and I'm not going to be here the whole time, but excited to talk a little bit about Dodgers and kind of what we're seeing for the playoff push coming up here towards September. Now, thanks for having me on, Russ. I'm really excited about it, man. Thanks.
Yeah, what'd you think of the intro? I like the intro. What do you think of it?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I didn't know what to expect. A lot of times when I jump on the live thing, it's after the start, so I don't catch it. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, we both do, Pete, me and Pete, we both do Touchdown in Paradise. It's a little more difficult because we're all kind of, most of you guys are in California. I'm here in Florida, so the time change is different. And even, trying to get Pete on for a while, but it's tough with the 3-hour time difference. But we're super glad to have you tonight, Pete. Ready to get in, talk some Dodgers baseball. Dodgers, obviously looking pretty darn good, Pete. We've got some pretty good stuff going on, exciting stuff. I'm just gonna get what are your initial thoughts going in? We're right here, September, about almost a little over a month left in the season. What are your initial thoughts right now?
My thoughts are on health. If only we could get the damn team healthy. And now with Freeman out with the hairline fracture, that's just one other problem that we're facing. We basically have a murderer's row of pitchers, a Hall of Fame team in and of itself, injured just on the pitching side of the ball. We've gotten a couple guys back lately. With Muncy coming back, he's playing well. Mookie coming back, he's playing well. But yeah, just injuries, man. It just seems like, and obviously I say this as knowing the Dodgers have the amount of talent they do, so they've been able to sustain them. But one thing I do worry about too is because of all the injuries, when these guys do come back, how is that going to affect the chemistry of the team? Because they've been out and we've been playing pretty damn good. So, excuse me, frog in my throat. So yeah, I think it's on both sides. It's like I want them to come back. I want the team to kind of use the month of September to really kind of figure it out with the potential starting rotation going into the playoffs. But we're only up a couple games. Hopefully we can win these next 2 out of the 3 to beat the Orioles. Last night was a little tough. I really thought Taylor was going to walk that off and just didn't get a little enough oomph in it. But there's a lot of things on the Dodgers plate right now. It does feel good to be in first, so not complaining about that. But the Dodgers have been in first a lot and not won the World Series. So to me, that doesn't really matter. It just gives us a little breathing room to hopefully get these guys back. And Dave Roberts really has a lot to do on his hands right now and trying to figure out what the rotation is going to be, who's going to be on the team. We already got rid of Hayward, and I just heard that he might be going to the Astros. So, yeah, it's a lot of those type of situations. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Russ, but it's just really the injury factor and trying to get our pitchers back.
I 100% agree with you, and I even look back at Dodgers when they're World Series right around there, and you look back and some of their top guys, Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May were supposed to be the dudes of the future, and we haven't seen them in 2 full years. And I think it's a good problem to have. That for me, it's like all these pitchers are going to come back. Glasnow, Yamamoto.
Yep.
It's a good problem to have. And the Dodgers, me being a scouting guy, the Dodgers always do a phenomenal job with their scouting department because you keep on seeing they keep out just turning these great prospects out, these great pitchers. So it's a good problem to have. As a manager, as Roberts, he's probably happy about it. You're never happy about injuries, but you'll always be able to juggle.
But, when your team's able to play through it and be in first in your the league, then obviously like you have enough depth. But it's like it really worries me about when these guys come back. Are they going to come back soon enough going into the playoffs to where we can really get a groove going with them? Because it's almost going to be like a whole different team. And it's like sometimes that works. You see some of these teams get guys back off injuries right before the playoffs and they go on a run. But to get the amount of guys back that we're looking at, I don't know. I'm just interested to see how it plays out. So especially these next 2-3 weeks, I'm locked in on the Dodgers, man, because it's a tight race. Got a lot of good games ahead of us. Hopefully we'll take these next 2 against the Orioles, but that's a damn tough team, man. So we'll see. But I'm excited. I'll be watching Buehler tonight to kind of see how he does. Should get the W, knock on wood, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, you're telling me, dude. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I usually actively root against the Dodgers, but we suck. We play to our level of our competition, so we lost last night. We're losing today against Washington again, which is killing me. But I'm a huge Dodgers fan this week because I really was like, all right, let's get a sweep. Hopefully the Dodgers take 2 out of 3, and we can get a nice, comfortable lead. Yankees don't really want to do that. They want to make it tough for themselves. But, last night, that's a tough loss where you're getting O'Hearn homers and Arraez homers. You lose 3-2, and Flaherty has another solid outing. I'm going to get to Ohtani a little later. I want to get your opinion on because right now the pitching staff what is your confidence in your starters? Because right now, we got Bobby Miller's, a rookie, got some time. We got Flaherty, who's, he's had some good years, but he's coming off a down year. Now he's having a little bounce back. Kershaw, as great as he is, he's older. And Buehler, since coming back from injury, hasn't looked like we've seen him a couple of years ago. What's your confidence in the rotation if Glasnow doesn't or Yamamoto can't make it back in time moving into October?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'll be honest. I like Gavin Stone a lot, and I do think that Buehler coming back. We'll see how he pitches tonight, but he's since coming back, he's been kind of whatever. I think really September is going to be a chance for them to really tune up, and kind of get into playoff mode. Just coming back from injuries, it's hard, man. You don't play, you probably can't really practice that much, and then like when you do get back, you got to practice a lot. Your arm's tired. I think they're going to be fine. I have the utmost confidence in them. We just can't have any of them getting hurt again. So whether it's Phillips or any of them, Miller or any of them, we can't have them get hurt. So yeah, I got high confidence in them. Kershaw worries me a little bit, but we haven't been, I think we kind of got him down pat in terms of like his schedule the second half of the season. So I think Roberts is going to play that one pretty well. But he does worry me when we get to the postseason. So, but bottom line, we need Glasnow back, and we need him firing on all freaking cylinders, man. Because Flaherty, you're right. We saw him play a week ago against the Mariners. Dude played amazing. And even last night, he pitched very well. 3 runs in any baseball game, you'd think that your team can overcome that with the amount of bats the Dodgers have. And to be honest, going into the bottom of the ninth, leave guys on base. You got 1 or 2 guys on, Taylor with a chance to walk it off, and we don't get anything. So, yeah, frustrating. It seems like when the pitching's on, the hitting's off. And the games that we have them both going, Jesus, you can't stop them. But it seems like lately it's been one or the other.
Speaking of Flaherty, pitched last night, had a quality start, six innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, got the loss. So he's 3-1 in his Dodger time, 3.07 ERA. So he's pitching solid. But Yamamoto, I'll give you a little good news. Yamamoto did start his rehab. He made a simulated start the other day at Dodger Stadium. So it looks like middle of September. Glasnow is still a big question mark on that.
Yeah.
I've hit this a lot, obviously, on my podcast here. Ohtani, obviously, this guy's a freak, and obviously he's not pitching this year, but he's a two-way guy. But this past week, he hit the 40-40 club, which if you know anything about baseball, 40-40 club is, that's an exclusive club. Not a lot of guys get there. Obviously, last guy was Acuna, 23. He's the fastest player to get that 40-40 club, which is impressive. I think he might be able to get that 50-50.
That's what I was about to say. I think he's on pace to exceed that.
That'd be awesome. But he did it in 126 games. I've hit a lot on here. Do you think Ohtani, because this year he's making such a big impact on the offensive side of the ball, do you think he just says, hey, I'm seeing what I'm doing here on the offensive side of the ball. I'm just going to put all my focus onto that instead of him doing the two-way?
That's a good question. I'm sure the reason he is exceeding so much is because he doesn't have to spend time and energy pitching. So it makes complete sense, man. Like, especially the older you get, it's hard to play both sides of any sport, offense and defense. I think the decision probably would be going forward. What's the Dodgers lineup, next year and in the future in terms of starting pitching? Say Kershaw retires or whatever. Like, we're going to get someone else in with Glass now. I think that really is going to depend. I mean, do you know this, Russ? Has he ever been a closer? Because I could kind of see him like just saying, hey, screw the starting pitching. I'll just come in and pitch, all gas to close out a game or something. Like,
the only time he closed was he was a starter in Japan. Only time he closed out the last game of the World Baseball Classic where he struck out.
Oh, that's right. Trout.
So, yeah. I could see his stuff is nasty, but I mean, like, we're seeing what he does on the offensive side of the, just hitting this year. And it goes to your point. You're saying doesn't have to worry about, the pitching, the rest time. His arm is fresh. He's not sore, and you can see the difference. And pitching takes a toll on the body.
It does, man. And then, like, say he gets injured pitching, he can't hit. And I think he's more valuable to the Dodgers as a hitter. So, yeah, man, like, I would, as a fan, it'd be cool to see him do both. But I would be perfectly fine if he just said, screw it, and I'm just going to go for the 40-40, 50-50 every year. And it's like you can max out. Because it's like thinking, you think to yourself, sometimes you spread yourself so thin, you can't max out in any one aspect of your life. Sometimes you just got to solely focus on one thing and become the best you can at it and block everything else out. So maybe doing the hitting side of it, maybe that's it, man. I mean, especially if the Dodgers can, surround the team with the starters that they need on the pitching side. I mean, they definitely can. Well, we're only paying them a couple $1 million a year for the next 9 years after this. So, like, why not just try to have him dominate on the offense side of the ball and pay a hell of an amount of money for maybe another starting pitcher or two, and then you don't even got to worry about it, man. So, yeah, I think his entire career is going to be judged on World Series as a Dodger. And what's the best path for the Dodgers to win the World Series? It's probably having him healthy, smashing the ball, and then using the money we would have been paying him and pay other starting pitchers to dominate in that aspect, So, yeah, sometimes you try to do two halves of one thing and you don't do any of it right, Not to say he hasn't done that in his career, but it's not like he's young. I mean, he's just going to get older from here.
I mean, I agree with you, and we're talking about the money. They're not paying him till, was it 2036? And the Dodgers are just betting on all that all the money he brings in from Japan, Los Angeles, everything that's going to play off. That's basically going to pay him, and we're going to worry about it later. So, I mean, I think he'll probably end up pitching for a couple of years, and then realize he's got to, choose. I think he's going to want to go for it because that's what they signed him for. But I personally see just seeing what he's doing for the team, just offensively, and putting all his effort, like you said, just on the offensive side of the ball. It's making such an impact. I mean, Dodgers right now, best record in baseball, but I mean, got a tough two more games against Baltimore today. Got a tough weekend 4-game set against Arizona. Arizona's right there nipping on their heels, only 3 games back, and San Diego. But I mean, you got Mookie back, which is huge because that's one of the best players in baseball. But yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with you. It's going to come down to the pitching, and in October it always does.
Yeah, it does, man. And those teams, I mean, they've had a really strong second half. The teams that they're going up against, and I mean, we talk about Ohtani being on both sides. Like, if Ohtani was not playing, if he was playing like half as good as what he is, we wouldn't be in this position, I don't think, at all, man. Like, he's been such a difference maker on the offense, and he stayed healthy this season too, which is huge. I mean, guys like Freddie Freeman aren't. We get Max Muncy out, so yeah, I think the upcoming couple weeks as we get guys back is you got Bueller pitching tonight. Kind of see how the starting rotation does. Hopefully, get Glass now back soon, and then Freddie with his hairline fracture. Hopefully, get him back soon. But yeah, it's going to be a very important stretch here, which is why I was so frustrated the Dodgers won last night, because Flaherty pitched good enough to win that game. I mean, the Baltimore's on the road. They only score 3 runs. You got enough firepower to get more than 2 damn runs, man, and you don't. And you leave guys stranded on base, which has been the Dodgers' MO the entire time Dave Roberts has been there, has been leaving guys on base, whether it's the regular season or the damn playoffs. And it's so frustrating when it happens, especially when monster hitters come up and they don't get on, or they just fly out, and it's just like so frustrating. But that's another story. But yeah, we got to keep winning here, man. We got to get the ball rolling, get guys healthy, start figuring out the lineup. Hopefully they kind of stagger and come back versus all at once, and you try to figure out multiple roster spots at one time and how to adapt to them. But if they're anything like Mookie, when he came back, he's been on a roll. So hopefully they can do the same thing, and hopefully it beats seamless. Cross our fingers.
Pete, I really want to thank you for coming on today, talk a little Dodgers baseball. First inaugural guest we've had on here on deck. So I really thank you for giving us the time to talk a little about the Dodgers, see where you're feeling. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great night.
I'm lucky you're kicking me off now, because the Dodgers is that's the ceiling of my baseball knowledge. So
that's fine, Pete. I'm a baseball nut, so that's fine.
Yeah, I try to be, but yeah, I focus on. I'm doing what Ohtani should do. I'm focusing on one team, one aspect, dude. I'm going all in on it, dude. But no, hey, thanks, Russ. Keep killing it, man. I'll jump in and watch you, and I'll make sure I watch the replay too. So thanks for having me on. I'll come on anytime, man. Maybe in a couple weeks or a week or two, or maybe even next week. Who knows? Just if you invite me back, I'll be on, bro.
Sounds great. Thank you for coming on, Pete.
Later, man. Peace.
All right, bye. All right, that's Peter Gallagher. He's the co-host of Touchdown in Paradise that we're on together with. That show's on Thursday at 11:30. So I mean, obviously we're here. Was it August 28th? So we're getting into the nitty-gritty. September's coming up. We're starting to get some jostling time. The AL East is very, very competitive. Yankees right now game up, but not looking too good for the Yankees. That we are down 4-1 and going into the top of the 4th right now. Not looking too good. Yankees, in my opinion, we play down to their competition, which is pretty poor. I wanted a 3-game sweep, but we got some exciting news. The Yankees, obviously 78-55, 1 game up on Baltimore. Judge, who is just tearing the cover off the ball right now, he's tearing it up, 51 home runs. I don't know if anyone out there, do you think he breaks his record this year? At one point, some people said maybe he gets to 73. I don't think that's happening anymore, but I think he can get. He's going to have to pick it up a little bit, but get to 63 and break his own record. So, he's having a better season than he had his MVP season. So he should be the MVP this year if he continues it like this. Obviously, a little competition. We got Bobby Wood, who's right there, who's having a hell of a year for the Royals, batting 346. But I'm a little concerned after Judge. I do want to. I don't know if anybody saw that Sunday game, but the Yankees just you see that full power that if that lineup can get going on that Sunday game where you got Soto goes home run, then you got Judge who hits a bomb, and then Stanton comes up and hits a home run. So I mean, if that lineup's cooking on all cylinders, that's pretty nasty lineup, and that's pretty dynamic. Obviously, just had Dodgers, one of the best lineups in baseball. I think if Judge, Soto, and and Stanton are all, clicking on all cylinders, you're really, those pitchers going to have a tough time. But I'm worried about our pitching. Obviously, Cole goes last night. Not the best start last night. Cole up and down, went five innings, six hits, 3 runs versus the Nationals. Got the loss. So that's not good. He was, starting to pick it up a little bit. Had a good quality start, but he's been up and down. And I kind of think that's, mostly what you can see from the Yankees pitching rotation, that it's been up and down. Where now Heel's on that 15-day DL, which is not good because they need all the pitching they could get. Cortez, who's looked unbelievable of late, the last couple starts, been looking really solid. But how is he going to look when he's playing a playoff team or a team right there on the push? Because he's had a couple solid starts for some sub 500 competition. Rondon's shaky up and down too. So I don't know about Rondon. Stroman, good start against the Tigers. Not so good start against and the Rockies. But he's been up and down. Clark Smith's supposed to be coming back here shortly. So we shall see. Yankees down 4-1 now. And Rondon's giving up, 4 earned runs today. So that's beautiful. But I'm really, that bullpen really just doesn't do it for me. It's, shaky at its best. Clay Holmes is definitely, he scares me. Clay Holmes, I kind of get Kyle Farnsworth vibes when Holmes comes in. I'm like, oh no, now it's Kyle Farnsworth type of thing. So we shall see. I was really hoping for a sweep when they're playing Washington, but Washington's a surprisingly scrappy team, and Orioles playing the Dodgers this week. Orioles right there, 1 game back. Got the Dodgers tonight at 10:10 Eastern. I want to say it is. They're 77-56. They took the first game of a 3-game set. As mentioned earlier, Rays had a home run. Ryan O'Hearn had a home run. So they're right there. I want to see who we got going for the Orioles tonight. We got Corbin Burns and Walker Buehler, so that should be a solid pitching matchup. I'd love to watch it, but the game's on at 10:10 here, so it's a little late. One downside of being on the East Coast is those West Coast games come on super late. But they're right there. That East is going to be up and down all year. I could see it coming down to that last series against Baltimore at the end of the year. So when is that last series? They got the Yankees. Second to last series, they got the Yankees, a 4-game set against 3-game set against the Yankees on the September 24th, 25th, and 26th. So I could see that's the division right there. But it's right there. Whichever team doesn't win that AL East is getting that first wild card spot. We got Kansas City, who took a lead the other day, or tied up Cleveland for the AL East and beat Cleveland yesterday. They beat Cleveland yesterday 6-1. Another solid day for the, another solid day, 1 for 4. Salvador Perez 2 for 5. You get the Michael Lorenzen. They kind of go with that starter, not the starter, whatever they call it, the Rays model. Get the win, but we come back today, and the Guardians get the win, 7-5. So they're a game up again. That was Waka goes 6, gives up 5 runs. Cleveland, Tanner Beebe goes 5, gives up 5 runs, but they get the win. Stephen Kwan, the guy's just unbelievable. He goes 2 for 4, 1 for 5 for Ramirez, 3 for Josh Naylor, 3 for 5. So they're up 1. Cleveland, that's another one. It's really right. That should be a really solid division. Because Minnesota's right there too. Only 3 games back, and right there in the wild card mix. They got the Braves. They beat the loss to the Braves the other day, losing to the Braves today in the second. But I mean, they're right there. They should get that wild card spot. Only 3 back of the Guardians. Houston's right. Houston in the AL West. Houston's still 3.5 up, sputtering a little bit. Lost today 10-0. Lost yesterday, and was not the best start. Yesterday they lost. What did they lose yesterday? Yesterday they lost 5-0. Wasn't the best start for Verlander. Goes 5 innings, giving up 7 hits, 4 runs, only 3 K, so it's a little shaky. Today they win. Houston gets the win 10-0, so that's a nice win for Houston. 10-0. Yeah, they win. They shut them out 10-0. So that's a solid win for the Astros. But they're sputtering, a little bit. Altuve, he always finds a way to get on. 2 for 4. Alvarez 4 for 4. Jeez, 4 RBIs, 3 home runs, and Bregman 2 for 3. You're down Alvarez. That guy's just a behemoth of a man. It's insane how big that guy is. But I mean, they're right there. They should win that division. I think they can hold off the Mariners. Moving to AL Central, Phillies looking solid. Split. Besides today, get that shutout of that Astros on Tuesday, where Aaron Nola goes 7 innings, giving up 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. But today, not looking as good as today. They get blanked. Only having 3 hits, where you only get a hit from Schwarber, Baum, and Hayes, and Taijuan Walker gives up 13 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. So it wasn't too good of a day for the Phillies. But they're right there, 6 up on the Braves. Atlanta's 3 up on the last wild card spot. Up 1-0 on the Twins right now, going into the third, fourth. Where they go? Going into the bottom of the second up. They've won yesterday, so they're right there. I think they'll get that wild card spot. But Atlanta's another team. We talked about injuries. With the Dodgers, definitely a lot of injuries for Atlanta. A lot of injuries. Obviously, on the NL West, we spoke already a lot about the Dodgers, so we can get away from that. Obviously, Dodgers are only 3 up on the Padres and the Diamondbacks. They're both at 75 and 57, and the Padres are 76 and 58. But Arizona 3 back. Arizona's putting a solid together. Pitching staff's not looking that great, but better of late. 6 and 4 in the last 10. Tied for that top wild card spot with the Padres, and got a massive series, 4-game set against the Dodgers. That should be a really good one. I'm going to check who we got. So we got Friday, Kershaw, Gallen. That would be a solid one. And then we got Saturday, Stone, Kelly. Sunday, Bad Flaherty. And Monday, Buehler, Rodriguez. So it should be a solid series. San Diego right there, 3 back of the Dodgers. They're tied for that first wild card, but they've been making some moves. Jackson Merrill, who's now the betting favorite for Rookie of the Year, is 21-year-old guy, 21-year-old man, and you do not see the age coming in at all. Guy batting 292, 19 home runs. And, Machado, who's probably the best defensive third baseman to have, and it's not even talking about his offensive side of the ball, is just he eats everything out the third. So I mean, he's right. I mean, it's insane. If they can get Tatis back, that would be big. But I mean, I think offensively, the Padres could be a dangerous team with Machado, with Jackson Merrill, with if Tatis comes back, you got Hassan Kim, who's okay, but he's a good defensive shortstop. You got Jake Cronenworth is another guy. So I think that the NL West, which I was giving the Dodgers the Dodgers run away with that. They're not really doing that. So I'm ready. I think that's going to be an interesting division. So we did get a little news on some call-ups. So on some call-ups the other day, the Nationals made a call-up. They called up Dylan Cruz, who was the second overall pick to Washington in the 2023 draft from that LSU team, Golden Spikes Award winner. He's from that vaunted LSU team that won the College World Series. Got called up by the Nationals, and just going to show. I mean, we've had obviously now he's joining Paul Skeens from that 23 class to get called up less than almost a year after starting to play professional baseball. Another name we've seen is Rhett Wilder is supposed to be getting the call up on Friday. He was the 7th overall pick out of Wake Forest University. We saw him and Skeens go head-to-head. He ended up giving the loss, giving up one run. Skeens didn't give up a run, so he got that loss. But he was going head-to-head with Paul Skeens as the best pitcher in college baseball that year. So, I mean, those are two guys that are getting called up, and we see Skeens up there is making an impact on his team 1 year after getting drafted. So I mean, I'm a big college guy. I love college baseball, but I think depending where you are, these college guys are they can make immediate impacts on the team. We'll give you guys we'll give our Miami Marlins fans a little hit of adrenaline. One of the players they picked up, Connor Norby from the Orioles, picked him up at the trade deadline. He is having this guy probably should have been up in the big leagues the whole time, but there was no spot to put him. Now he's with the Marlins. He's batting .344. He's got 26 at bats. So, I mean, that was even though, it's not sexy, you're not going for it, but that's where the Marlins are. They got some solid prospects, and Norby's obviously paying off big time. So right here, we're right here in September. So call-ups we'll be having will be, rosters expanding. We'll get call-ups. Kicking it off with Baltimore. Baltimore probably most guys are going to call up. I'm going to go Kobe Mayo, third baseman, first baseman. Did have a little cup of coffee. Didn't go too well. Got sent back down. But he should be in there playing one of the corners, especially with Jordan Westburg down with injury. Him, Urias maybe doing a little platooning. The one I was really excited to see, and I did a little research, was the Red Sox could call up. They have obviously that vaunted infield, not ready to be called up. Chase Mydroff. Chase Mydroff's an infielder from University of San Diego, is a 4th-round pick. I'm excited about him because I scouted him in high school from Miracosta High School in Manhattan Beach, California. Shout out to former coach of Miracosta, Keith Ramsey. Pretty sure he's at Loyola High School in Los Angeles now, but he was, Chase's coach at the time, great guy. But I love that Chase. I mean, this guy's an on-base machine. He's a grinder on the smaller side, so his best position is probably second base. But I mean, this guy got everything done, and I'm really excited to see if he gets that call up. And Boston is right there still in the wild card hunt. Maybe a couple games down, 4 games down now, but still, we got a month left of the season. Yankees, there's only one name for the Yankees. That would be Jason Dominguez, who got a day when they at the Little League Classic game. He got a cup of coffee. He's already had a cup of coffee. Obviously, he had 4 home runs and 8 games last year before he had to go down with Tommy John. Was that 26th man on the roster, came up, didn't have the great, but he's tearing the cover off the ball. In minor leagues, batting .314, 7 home runs. He's ready to go. It'll be interesting because now Verdugo is starting to swing a hot bat. So it'll be interesting where he can play, maybe giving some Judge a little time off, DH time, Soto a little time off. But this guy's ready to go. So the Cleveland, Chase DeLauder, 2022 first-round pick out of James Madison, tore up the Arizona Fall League, so he should be right there. Kansas City, it's Noah Cameron, left-handed pitcher, considered the hottest pitcher in minor league baseball. Minnesota's Andrew Morris. I don't know much about Andrew Morris, but he can assist that staff, assist the bullpen, which is much. There's an interesting name. The interesting name for me, not in playoff contention, is Christian Moore, who is part of that University of Tennessee national title team. And he is just flying through the system right now. He's gone from rookie ball. Now he's all the way to Double-A. He could jump up. He's batting .413, .464, .762. So I'm really excited to see if he moves up. Astros would be right-handed pitcher AJ Blue Blah. He's got a solid 4-pitch mix. Yeah, as we see with the Astros, they definitely could use any type of help they could use on the pitching side of the ball. So the Braves would be Hudson Waltrip. Hudson Waltrip, I think that's the University of Florida guy. Has had a cup of coffee, struggled, got a little hit up with the Braves, but he should be coming back up. If not in the rotation, he'll be a good piece to have in the bullpen. Philly would be Seth Johnson, who was part of those trades with the Orioles when they traded Austin Hayes to the Phillies. So he's already on the 40-man roster. You don't have to use up a spot. But I'm excited. Obviously, we got some other guys. I don't know him as much. The guy I really wanted to see on the Dodgers, which are not going to say he's going to get the call up, just got the call up to AAA, is Dalton Rushing. But Dalton Rushing I think they're starting to work. They are working Rushing in the outfield. He is a catcher by trade, but obviously we know the Dodgers don't need a catcher. So that will be Will Smith is glued in at the catcher spot. Beautifully, Yankees down 5-1 now. So he's glued in at the catcher spot. But I mean, I'm excited to see some of these guys come up. I'm excited to see Lauder. I've been touting Lauder for a long time as a guy to watch. I know he's with the Reds. So they're not in playoff contention. But this is a guy I've been watching since his time in college. And I'm really excited to see what he do. Dylan Cruz is another guy who could honestly have been that first overall pick if Paul Skeens didn't, pop off the way he did. So, I mean, he was touted that number 1 overall pick all year, and then Skeens just jumped on the scene. And you can't pass up a 6'6" pitcher who's, 200-something pounds with that 3-pitch mix. You can't pass that up. That's especially for Pittsburgh, small market team. They need that guy he's gonna sell tickets. So I'm excited to see both those players get that call up. But finally get that call. Rhett Lauder was honestly one of the best pitchers in college baseball. He probably could have been the number 1 overall pick if Paul Skeens didn't have such a phenomenal year. So I'm excited to see Lauder. Obviously, best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in college baseball. Marlins fans, I know you don't have a lot to be happy about, but you got some phenomenal prospects and you're seeing some phenomenal guys. I'm jacked up. We're going into September. I'm jacked up. We got a lot of good races. The AL East is really tight. I think that's going to go back and forth. AL Central, which at one point was not looking like a great division, and now it's super tight with 3 teams in between 3 games. And I'm really hoping the Royals get in because I like to see that youth movement. I've never been high on the West. AL West, I think that's the Astros. Phillies, I think the Phillies got it right now. Could be 5 games up at the end of the day. Milwaukee's running away with the Central, and the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres. I'm pretty sure we all gave those Dodgers the AL West before the year started, and I'm with you on that, and I did that too. But that's going to be a great division. I got a couple shout outs. I want to give a shout out to the Lake Mary Little League team from Lake Mary, Florida, who won the Little League World Series on Sunday. Gritty team, congratulations. That was I like watching Little League baseball, and I was great to see them beating Chinese Taipei, so that's great. I want to let everybody know next week we are going to be on Thursday next week. I will be flying home to California, where I'm originally from, and visiting some time with the family. So we are going to, on Wednesday, I'm going to be flying, so we're going to be going on Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. But we just got to change it. I'll be a little tired. Flying across the coast is a little much, even though you're just sitting down. It's still a lot to take out. But I want to thank everybody who joined us. I want to thank Pete Gallagher from Touchdown in Paradise, who came on and talked a little Dodgers baseball with us. This is On Deck on FTSN. Thank you, and you have a great night.